Okay, let's dive right in. A decades-long political struggle. A map permanently redrawn. Millions of lives changed forever. Welcome to this explainer, where we are going to step back in time to witness the creation of Pakistan. It's an incredibly immersive story of immense political movements, visionary leadership, and profound human resilience. So, how exactly does a brand new nation just come into existence? You might be wondering, and honestly, the answer starts way before any borders were actually drawn. The creation of Pakistan wasn't some overnight event. It was forged over decades by grassroots movements and an absolute, unyielding demand for a separate homeland. To really understand how the map of South Asia was fractured, we need to rewind the clock. Section 1. Roots of the Movement. British India in the early 20th century. Picture the early 1900s. British India is this incredibly complex tapestry of social and political tension. Out of that intense environment, we see a monumental shift in 1906, the formation of the All India Muslim League to safeguard political rights. And by the time we hit the 1930s, this push for representation had evolved into a rapid, highly distinct Muslim political identity. It wasn't just about having a seat at the table anymore, It was about defining a completely unique destiny. Now, a really crucial thing to understand here is that this wasn't just a handful of politicians talking in closed rooms. No way. The Pakistan movement was a massive, grassroots earthquake. It was driven by immense public gatherings, energized students, and dedicated everyday workers. The unified demand echoing across the subcontinent was loud and clear: a separate, independent homeland from Muslims in British India. But, as you can imagine, a movement of this sheer magnitude desperately needed exceptional leadership. Moving on to Jinnah and political identity, guiding the movement. Muhammad Ali Jinnah became the absolute, definitive face of this objective. Known for his sharp legal mind and just unwavering resolve, Jinnah took the demand for a separate homeland and turned it into an undeniable political force. Through brilliant speeches and a remarkably firm stance in negotiations, he unified millions, giving the movement its strategic direction and its undeniable voice. Next up, the 1940 Pakistan Resolution, a turning point in Lahore. Just imagine the cinematic scale of this gathering in Lahore. Tens of thousands of people right there watching history being made. The 1940 Lahore Resolution drew an absolute line in the sand. It took what was a conceptual political identity and turned it into a concrete geographic demand. It formally declared that Muslim-majority regions should constitute independent states. And from that exact moment on, the goal of creating Pakistan was officially set in stone. Which brings us to the 1946 elections and crisis, the tipping point. Right after that, a stark, palpable tension completely took hold across the subcontinent. On one hand, you've got these intense, high-stakes political negotiations unfolding in grand rooms between British authorities and major political groups, trying to find a post-war constitutional solution. But on the other hand, you have the reality of the streets, a final, completely unavoidable political crisis. The 1946 elections basically acted as a literal referendum. The Muslim League won a massive victory in the Muslim reserve seats, proving, without a doubt, that the demand for Pakistan had overwhelming democratic backing. It made partition the only viable political solution left. Now let's look at the partition of British India, drawing the borders. The sheer scale and speed of the transition into 1947 is, frankly, staggering. First, you have the official British withdrawal, ending centuries, literally centuries, of colonial rule. Then came perhaps the most complex administrative task in history, drawing new borders across provinces, essentially splitting entire communities overnight. And finally, the massive, tragic human migration. Millions of families packing up, boarding crowded trains, and navigating dangerous, newly drawn routes. Honestly, the emotional and logistical toll of this migration remains almost incomprehensible today. And finally, the creation of Pakistan, a new dawn. August 14th, 1947. As the sun came up that day, the political map of South Asia was quite literally changed forever. The green and white flag was hoisted, and Pakistan officially became an independent, sovereign country. It was a moment of profound triumph, the actual physical realization of a dream decades in the making for the millions who had supported the movement. But achieving independence was really just day one. The new nation literally had to build itself from the ground up. In early Karachi, government offices were set up with barely any furniture or supplies to speak of. Meanwhile, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, working tirelessly despite his failing health, spearheaded the creation of vital national institutions. All the while, massive waves of refugees were arriving, beginning the heartbreaking but hopeful struggle to rebuild their lives in a brand new country. That sheer resilience, that became the absolute foundation of the nation. When we look at modern, vibrant Pakistan today, its bustling cities, towering mountains, and deep rivers, we are looking at the direct, living legacy of this incredible historical journey. Its creation was by no means an accident of history. It was the deliberate result of a dedicated political struggle that reshaped the destiny of millions and permanently transformed the map of South Asia. So, after such a monumental, generation-defining struggle to draw those lines on the map in 1947, I'll leave you with this to consider. How does the legacy of these hard-won historical borders continue to shape the geopolitics of our modern world today? The history of 1947 isn't just locked away in the past. It's a living history that heavily dictates our present. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.